Tyranny forces the birth of freedom. Welcome to Law and Society. Please subscribe. We are living in a tyrant's world right now in the United States. We have a tyrant as the President of the United States. We have a compromised Congress that has not only relented its advice and consent power to be able to vet the nominations made by the president, but now they've also given up their spending power by passing the rescissions law that is essentially Donald Trump telling them the executive branch is not going to spend the money that you appropriated for the reasons that they have been appropriated for. One of the things that they have been appropriated for was public media. We know that millions and billions of dollars are going to be cut from public media, PBS, NPR, the Voice of America, the international public awareness programs, the national public awareness programs, and this assault on the freedom of press has created this tyranny on the freedom of press is connected in many ways to the police state, and it's connected in many ways to the cuts to education and the cuts to the food programs, and it has many attenuated consequences. Today, I briefly wanted to talk to you and bring your attention to how corporate media has succumbed to this tyranny. It has capitulated. And we see that most recently in the cancellation of The Late Show and Stephen Colbert by CBS, not PBS, CBS and the corporate media, because it's owned by Paramount. This sets Stephen Colbert free. This tyranny sets him free. The next 10 months are going to be historic, I believe, and I have faith, in Stephen Colbert's Late Show studio in this David and Goliath fight between free speech and tyranny. And while the tyrant keeps tearing at the fabric of the free press, while public radio and public broadcasting will take a hit, they're not going anywhere, because public radio and NPR, PBS, and not Voice of America, to a little bit of degree, are funded by public dollars, your donations, and all of our donations put together. So NPR and PBS not going to completely go away, but they're going to get they would have to make huge cuts to their staff and their team and their capabilities. Voice of America, because the U.S. aid program has been nixed, along with Voice of America is probably not going to be able to broadcast American values and American viewpoints throughout the world, or spread democracy or anything to do with freedom around the world. But what that has created is the rise of the independent media. And the independent media has been around for a while with people like Brian Tyler Cohen, and then we have Midas Touch, then we have The Bulwark, we have Katie Couric, we have Charlie Sykes, we have Bill Crystal, we have Jon Stewart, we have all of these amazing people, Dr. Heather Cox Richardson, Judge J. Michael Ludig, all of these amazing people who are now free to speak their minds beyond the constraints, Joy Ann Reid and Katie Fang, to be able to speak truth to power outside of corporate media and build the independent media ecosystem. The independent media ecosystem, I mean, yeah, there's firsts and lasts, and some people are listened to on the millions, and some people only a few dozen. But the point of citizen engaged independent media is that we as Americans aren't going to let Donald Trump's tyranny stamp out the truth. In fact, Donald Trump's tyranny is going to force media and information and news to take a different birth of freedom and rise in this age of information technology. And we have the means to do it. We keep getting, sidetracked by the big distractors like Elon Musk, who disenfranchised countless people on X after it switched from Twitter. We now have Blue Sky and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and Substack and all of these fractured communities, and Facebook and Reddit and all of these fractured communities are building up their own bases of independent media. Some have outlets in all of these social media platforms. Some have outlets only in a few. But the point is, we are not staying quiet. Donald Trump's tyranny has not silenced us, we the people. It may be successful in silencing people who care about the profit margins, but not the people who care about our republic, the rule of law, and truth. So with that said, thank you so much for listening. Keep sharing, subscribing, and listening to individual platforms and what we have to say to you. Combine the information that we provide and come to a consensus. It's going to take you some work to get to the news, but people like Heather Cox Richardson and Judge J. Michael Ludig and so many others are making the truth accessible to you when you get to the digital forum. So don't shun social media because you have corporate media and people in corporate media blaming social media for this disinformation age. No. In fact, the problem is legacy media running with the lies that Donald Trump and the MAGA regime continues to spew every single day without realizing that that is not journalism. That is spreading propagandized news and muddying the waters without context. It's myopic and short-sighted, but it pays and it gives you access to this highly corrupt, tyrannical regime. And we do need the access for these corporate media to be able to go in and get some of the basic answers. But mind you, a lot of the information that independent media is now getting also comes from the access they're being given by members of Congress, other elected leaders around the country. So independent media is making ways into the access at the highest levels. And even if Donald Trump's regime, the federal government, executive branch, refuses and blocks out independent reporting, it's not going to work because we are going to get the news from one source or another. We are in this information age, and it is up to us to make the best of it. With that said, thank you so much for listening. Do like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you soon.